I bet you Eli Manning, the Giants, and all the NFL players never thought they'd be so happy to see that guy, Ed Hockley, famous NFL referee. He will be on the field this weekend, as well as all the regular union NFL referees, because the NFL, after the Fail Mary Monday night, the debacle in Seattle, they have come to a labor agreement. Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Markets Hub. We're talking labor issues is a market story. Don't tell me it's a football story, sports story. It's a market story. Matthew Futterman is here with us to talk about it. What a mess. I mean, what a mess, really.
Yeah, it's a complete mess. It's amazing that the NFL let it get to this point.
Right. I mean, 3 weeks, that Monday Night Football game, just horrendous officiating. A game was, Packers lost a game, obviously, but the good part is, right, that they had to get that bad to force the NFL to settle a deal. They did it late last night. Run us through a couple of the details.
Well, I think the main detail is that for the current referees, they're going to keep a pension plan. Mm-hmm. Things may change going forward with how the NFL hires and actually fires some of its refs. They wanted that freedom and flexibility to have what they called a deeper bench. So if there were underperforming referees, they could have them replaced much more easily. Totally understandable that they wanted to do that. Ultimately, though, they were fighting about money here, and by the time it came down to it, they were fighting about $3 million or so. This is a $10 billion industry. Right. And they were really risking their entire integrity over about $3 million. And I think that's the thing that really sort of pushed them over the edge.
Did the referees, and you said the referees managed to keep their pension plan, who won here?
Well,
who got more what they wanted, the NFL or the referees?
Well, I think like anything, it was something of a compromise, and the NFL going forward will be able to move. Will be able to move its referees eventually. They'll be 401k employees instead of having this obligation. But I'm not going to call it a huge obligation because there's only 121 referees. Yeah. This is not a company with 30,000 employees that has to get its pensions under control. Mm-hmm. This was a situation you're dealing with 121 people who, as much as we complain about them, we realize have a very specific skill, and that they do a pretty good job at it, from it, and that there is a great deal of value to having people who are experienced with the speed and the pressure and the intensity of a game played at its highest level.
You saw in stark terms the contrast between the regular referees and these replacement refs. And after the Monday night game, it's amazing how much resonance this story had. Everybody was talking about it. And the players, I'm interested in the players went off after Monday night. They were on Twitter. They were on the radio. They were being interviewed. They were all over the place. Very, very vocal about it.
Well, the problem was the people.
And you can see here, so we'll pull up a couple of the tweets there. T.J. Lang, one of the Packers who lost the game. He's used got a little blue there. It was amazing how much the players were really, really just no holds barred on their comments.
Well, the problem is that the commissioner's office and the league officials were not taking the game as seriously as the fans and the players.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem. The people who run the sport have to take it more seriously than everybody.
Right.
And when the fans and the players are saying, you guys are turning this into a joke, that's a real problem, especially because you had real safety issues down the road here. Fortunately, nothing crazy happened, but I think there's a general sense that the players could get away with a lot more against these officials.
You could see it.
Right,
could see it in the games.
And that's not. And this has been Roger Goodell's thing the last couple of years: safety. But as absurd as that may sound in professional football, but having legitimate referees on the field and officials.
Who can control a game. Let's talk about Goodell for a second. We just flashed a picture of him. How big does this hurt his reputation? He was kind of seen like a golden boy. This thing has been disastrous. How does this affect his reputation?
It's a bit of a setback. The big challenge is still to come with how he's going to handle the concussions lawsuit, and that's going to be the big one. Ultimately, that will probably be his legacy. Everything else is sort of a lead up to that. Yeah. At the same time, they had this lockout last year. Fortunately, that didn't cost them many games. They knew they knew when it came down to it they were going to have to make a deal before everything really went to pot. And I think at this point in this one they pushed it a little further, and it seems like they pushed it a little too far.
A little too far. You're absolutely right, Matt Futterman. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.